I just wanted to let us know that.
Where I want us to get to before we conclude, I have another video that we're trying to put here so that we can show the world what another evidence that has happened in Ambazonia. So what I want us to get, Dr. Lobati, you can hear Commander William Barrister Fool saying there, Biya is doing all of this with impunity. We have seen leaders in Africa, and most recently, like Star Smart reported in her documentary, you have Bozize. These are all leaders in Africa that are currently being indicted for crimes against humanity and war crimes. And the evidence is clear with Biya killing people. Because I tell people, stop wasting your time going after Bankwi. The criminal here is Biya. Am I saying that the Banquis and all those officers will not be charged? That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that.
Mbakwe is on our list. It's on the list.
Just a moment, Barrister Fro. I didn't say he's not on the list. So my question is, why is the world protecting Biya? Who is behind this?
I hope you guys can see this here. Can you put me in larger?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
This
was the Secretary General of the United Nations before we had our independence. And if you look carefully, he died. He ruled from 1953 to, I'm sorry, it's not coming out very clear, but anyway, to 1961. And he said that putting the two Cameroon stars, uniting the Southern Cameroons to the Cameroon Republic, is like forcing a balloon under the sea. One day it will come out. But anyway, that's not what I wanted to bring out. What I wanted us to bring out is that this man died in a plane crash over the Congo. And he died in a plane crash because of the same reason why our people are being killed right now. Basically, these guys wanted our stuff. This man was an honest guy and was trying to go around helping the individual nations to acquire their independence. Went to Congo and was going to arrive in Buea, assist Foncha and the government of the Southern Cameroons in preparation to meet Ahidjo to forge out the Federal Republic that Ahidjo promised in the United Nations. And he was an honest guy who was trying to do what is right. But these dark forces behind, the French and the British and others, killed him in that plane. And then since then, the United Nations has become something else. Remember that they're the same people who approved the Secretary General of the United Nations. The only Secretary General of the United Nations that we heard something about genocide was Kofi Annan, who was an African. He came and said that what happened in Rwanda should never happen again. And that just one person killed is already genocide just because of who they are. And of course, genocide has continued, including in our place. And Antonio Guterres, who used to be Prime Minister of Portugal, and then became the president of the European Union before he went to become Secretary General of the United Nations, he's saying nothing. He went to Yaoundé, they gave his statue, and he stayed him mute because he is collaborating with them. The French control him. He collaborates with the French to get our stuff. That's why they don't care whether we are dying. So if you're waiting on them, you're wasting your time. The only true, honest Secretary General of the United Nations that could have said the truth, were killed. And since then, they have always put people in there who do what they want. And that's why the UN is worthless. If you look at the so-called UN, wherever they have been on earth, they have these white tanks with UN on it and Bangladeshi troops riding in it, but you never have peace. They have been in the Congo, Brazil, Kinshasa, and over 3 million people have died. And even one time, one of those white tanks from the UN somersaulted or fell over a ditch, and out of the tank was coming gold in containers. So they were pretending that they were maintaining peace in Brazil, in Zaire, by using the white tanks, deceiving the people to carry the gold that these guys want, which is our stuff. And they have places where these planes land where there is war, and they carry those things away. The reason they are killing us is because of our stuff. And the UN is compromised. If you are really waiting for the UN to come and solve a problem, you will wait, and hopefully you die peacefully and you will get nothing from that UN. But I know that things will change. Whether they like it or they don't, things are going to change. That's why I do the things that I do and say the things that I say. But I want us to know for a fact who is who and who is doing what. These United Nations is worthless. It doesn't have any value. Even now that the Israelis are killing the Palestinians, they are struggling to give just water to fleeing Palestinians. The United Nations is saying that they are struggling to give some water to the fleeing Palestinians, while Israel is bombing Gaza with bombs provided by the United States. So the United Nations has no power. We attribute to it powers it doesn't have. Anyway, that's why the white man is doing nothing. That's what I tell you.
Yeah, but Stafru, I think this is a point where you need to come. Why do you think that of all that is happening, you know, even the media, I would say the media is protecting Biya. This is not the first time that things like this is happening. We have seen other leaders. If Bozize would be held for war crimes and crimes against humanity, these are individuals still alive. We have seen governments, Mugabe before he died, face sanctions. We know of Idi Amin. We know of Charles Taylor. All of these leaders were not attended to with any respect by the global community. But Biya seems to be a kind of a blessed child that he commits crimes against humanity with impunity. That's what I'm trying for us.
Let me answer that. Let me answer that. There is an international conspiracy against us because of our resources. Let me explain. If you look at those that have drilling contracts from La Republic of Cameroon in the Gulf of Guinea in our territory, there are 4 major companies. You have ADAC, the Chinese. You have Gascom, the Russians. You have Perenco, the British and the French. You have ELF, the French. They have connived, and then of course you have the United States on the other side of the Gulf of Guinea, 40%. They are partners in crime. They have connived to support Biya to annihilate us because of our resources. Because if not, Charles Taylor was arrested without any problem. Many others have been arrested without any problem. But Biya walks freely in the world, goes to China, and the Chinese will not allow him die there. They carry him to France. France said, "Oh no, continue with him to Geneva." And Geneva, whatever happened there, nobody knows what has happened to him. They are all protecting their wealth in the Gulf of Guinea. You may want to know that the oil deposits in the Gulf of Guinea amount to 25% of the oil in the world. And Biya was so smart to share it to these conspirators. If anybody thinks that I am not correct, let them own up and tell the world why Ambazonia, the Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia, is suffering the way they are till today. There's an international conspiracy, and they even tell us that if they are getting it from La Republic of Cameroon, they have no interest in us. I mean, sometimes it is important to listen to Willie, because where do we seek for redress? Where? But to ourselves. That's why the drafting today is so important, it's crucial for our best survival. I would call on all the Southern Cameroons, Ambazonia, anywhere in the world, that today's draft, forget about food for the next 2 weeks, and make sure that you write your name in that book. That is the transition book. And draft, because everything ends with us. If we don't fight who will fight for us. And when they see us fighting and we are almost at the end, you'll see some of the hypocrites coming to say, okay, now it's time, let's talk, let's talk. And they'll be asking for their own share. They'll be asking for what do we intend to do for them when it comes to our resources. That is the crux of the matter, Paddy. Let nobody tell you anything. La Republic is eating fat from our territory and has shared the booty with these international conspirators. That is the only reason why you go to the United Nations, you want to talk to shut your mouth. Nobody can talk about the Southern Cameroon in the United Nations. That is what my brother Dr. Lobati is saying. The United Nations is a toothless bulldog. They cannot even, if they cannot solve the problem in Gaza, you think they will come and solve the problem in Ambazonia?